welcome to the Tea and a Butty podcast. I'm Dominic.
And I'm Erica.
Today we're going to be talking about weird regional foods of Britain.
Yeah.
And what Erica finds weird.
The word weird is in there just because I think they're weird.
Yeah,
is that what you're saying?
yes. I mean, some of this you might not find weird.
Yeah.
I made up a list and I didn't get her pre-approval on it, so we're just going to go through it. It's 8 things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Because, you had this preconception of British food being weird before you came over here. Apparently it's a common American misconception and stereotype.
That you weren't aware of.
That I was not aware of. I mean, the only time I was aware of, like, an Americans having a stereotype about Britain was with Austin Powers and the bad teeth.
The teeth.
Because I was like, because I didn't really get it. There you go. Like people watch British movies over here and they don't get certain references.
Yeah.
That was one. I was like, what is the? Yes, I get it. I have bad teeth. I was like, what's that supposed to mean? And then I kind of like, years later I researched it and it was just like, oh yeah, Americans think British people have poor dental hygiene.
Yeah.
And again,
bad teeth and terrible food.
Yeah, bad teeth, terrible food to eat them with.
Yes. Yeah. No, but before I had gone to Britain the first time, my aunt, who had been over there, I don't know if she was just perpetuating the myth or if she, or maybe she just didn't have good experiences with the food, but she said, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go to Britain now, and she was like, oh, the food is terrible, don't you? The food is just the worst. And I was like, oh God, okay. I mean, I'd always heard that, but she had actually been there and was saying that, so I was just like, oh, so it is then. It's really terrible. So I went there knowing in quotation marks, that the food was going to be horrible.
Well, yeah, I mean, the first time, it was actually, you got in quite late, didn't we? And we had like, you got in
I got in at first thing in the morning.
Yeah. But I can't remember what the first thing you ate was.
A sausage roll.
Oh, the sausage roll, yeah, you didn't like that. The sausage roll was the first thing. Then we woke up the next day.
Yeah, I don't remember what we had. I think.
No, breakfast time. That was the breakfast.
No, I mean for the rest of that day though. I can't remember what we ate. I kind of think I had like
KFC or something.
KFC or something.
Yeah, it was KFC or something you had. Yeah, it was something because we'd been walking all day.
Check-in to the hostel was quite late. Yeah, it was like 2 p.m. or something like that. So we just had a sausage roll and then I don't know, I think we just walked around for a long time. I think we went to Abbey Road. This is totally not what this podcast is supposed to be about, but
yeah, I mean, we're going to be talking about New York later on, so we're talking about London now. But maybe we'll make this into another podcast. Anyway, skip to the next day.
Yeah.
And we went down for breakfast.
Mm-hmm. The hostel offered
a bed. It was like a bed and breakfast hostel, and it was a lot of like Europeans staying there, like Italians, Germans, whatever. So they had a lot of stuff on offer. We've told this story before for our long-time listeners. You may know this story. We did a story time on this, and I sat down. Well, it was like one of those breakfast buffets.
Yeah.
Buffets.
Yeah. It was really just cereal and toast, wasn't
cereal,
it? I don't remember there being
coffee
anything else.
And tea,
yeah.
And that was it, yeah.
Yeah.
And I went up and I got my cereal. It was cornflakes. I put a little bit of sugar on them because it was just regular old cornflakes. It wasn't like Frosted Flakes or anything. And there was 2 jugs of milk there, and I noticed one of them was sweating. Yeah. And I was like, oh, that's the hot milk for people who like hot milk in their cocoa or whatever they were going to have, or coffee or whatever. Italians like that kind of thing, I guess. And, because it's too cold or whatever, I presume. That's me stereotyping. Right there. I presume that's because, it's just like, it's not something Brits do. Have hot milk.
Those Europeans and their hot milk.
So it was one of the clauses of Brexit. But, so I just grabbed the cold milk and poured it in and went down, sat down, and Erica was behind me. And I didn't think to tell her that, oh, don't don't put hot milk in your cereal.
Well, I didn't pay any attention to the fact that the jug was sweating, you know.
I just naturally assumed, it's
hot.
hot milk for whoever wants, like, hot milk like in a cocoa or something like that.
It never occurred to me that it might be hot, you know. I just grabbed the handle.
Yeah.
I didn't feel it. I didn't notice it was sweating. And I poured it into my cereal and sat down, and I was just like, oh, God, this is like warm
and
milk
I totally
with
did
my,
not...
with my cornflakes.
And, you know, she was sitting across from me, and I was just like, I was munching or chowing down, you know. And I looked up, and you had not touched your cereal, and you had this look on your face. You were looking around like you were in an insane asylum. Honestly, I can see it now. I looked up, and I was like, what's going on? Because, you know, she was looking around like she was in an insane asylum, like, who are these people, these crazy people? And I said, what's the matter? And she goes, I'm not hungry.
Oh,
I was like,
hungry.
What are you talking about? You're not hungry. It's like, are you okay? You know, I'm just not hungry. And I was like, what's the matter? And I just had this kind of like thing, like, oh no, she's not eating her cereal because, and then maybe
I don't know why.
I don't know. I just had this kind of like, oh, you know, I've got to find out what's wrong here. And so I was like, what's the matter with the cereal?
Yeah.
And you were just like, I think he just kind of said, oh, it's not...
just don't want it, yeah.
Just don't want it. And I was like, it's the same as I've got. And I was just like... And I just went, what's the matter with it?
You stuck your spoon in it.
I stuck my spoon in it and went... And I was like, it's warm milk. Why have you put warm milk... Why you put warm milk in your cereal? You know? And you were just kind of like, what? You don't have... I was like, no, this... And we were kind of trying to keep our voices down because everybody else was kind of talking in there. And I didn't want to, like, embarrass you or something.
Why did you put hot milk? And I didn't want to embarrass you by not liking your disgusting cornflakes with hot milk.
Cornflakes and hot milk, delicious. Yeah. Fingers crossed for that one.
I just saw, God, these freaking British people and their disgusting ways.
But anyway, I went back and I said, I can't remember if I chucked it. I think I chucked it away because I was like, you've ruined it. And I got you another thing and you just ate it and you were happy then, you know?
I was
like,
okay.
Oh, I'm not in an insane asylum, thankfully. But yes, on to the list now. Number one I've got on here is fish paste sandwiches. Imagine them for breakfast.
That sounds horrendous.
It's a staple of British cuisine. I've seen it. It's mainly what you feed, like, kids, you know, and it's a cheap kind of, like, variant of, like, sandwiches for, like,
yeah. Now, do
any
any
of
of these
paste
things
sandwiches?
Are any of these things found in just certain areas of
No,
Britain?
it's kind of all over Britain. I mean, I will say there's a couple on here that are, like, kind of regional variants.
Yeah.
And you only find them in that part. And considering how small Britain is, you'd think that's weird. Because, you know, we do have a national identity and, you know, everybody knows, you know, fish and chips and, you know, chicken tikka masala and all that. Yeah. But there are things that, like, you know, someone in the south might go, oh, what's that they're eating in the north, you know? Or, what's that they're eating in the south, you know?
Yeah.
But so, yeah, this is kind of like a mixture of regional and stuff.
Yeah.
Fish paste, though, it's, you know,
it's literally...
It's a mixture of, like, pilchards, mackerel, and anchovies in, like you know, water, like with water, salt, and... It's like paste. Yeah, it's like pureed, like, paste with, like... It's disgusting. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of fish anyway, but anchovies are just like, oh, the worst.
Yeah.
But they spread it on sandwiches, and I've had them at, like, funeral wakes and whatever, like, little parties and stuff.
What else? What else is on the sandwich besides? It's just.
Sometimes you can put.
See, that's another thing British people do. They just put something on a sandwich, and there's just nothing else on it. Like,
no, sometimes you can have. I think some people say, "Oh, it can be used as an accompaniment to, like, a tomato or, you know, cheese or something like that." You know,
fish with tomatoes.
I mean, because they make, like, a tomato paste as well.
Yeah, like ketchup.
No, it's tomato flavored, I think.
Okay, gross.
But you can have, like, fish paste warm on toast.
We should have put
fish paste on toast,
we
mate.
should have put a little disclaimer in here, you guys. British food is not disgusting. Contrary to
Contrary
popular...
to what I'm talking about now with the fish paste sandwiches.
Contrary to popular American opinion, British food is not...
Disgusting.
Not totally disgusting.
Not totally disgusting, no. No, it's just... It's like water, salt and all that, and, you know, it's like 90% fish. You know, it's very like a cheap kind of like way to fill a sandwich and get it fed to a load of people.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's like snacks, and like people have it on crackers. You know, like you have tuna.
Like a pate.
Like, it's like a pate, yeah, but it's not really like a pate because it's more liquidy.
I hate pate, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, I've had fish paste sandwiches, and yeah, ugh, no.
Yeah.
Number 2, now this is more up your alley.
Yeah.
A jacket potato.
I mean, jacket potatoes, obviously, we do in America.
Yeah, you call it a baked potato.
Yeah, we just don't call them jacket potatoes. We call them
you're a baked potato head.
I love a baked potato.
And Britain does love a good baked or jacket potato because they're everywhere.
Okay, but here's the toppings on American baked potatoes. And I mean, depending on who
butter
you are...
and sour cream.
Butter and sour cream are the classic, basic toppings. You know,
Remember she said that to Gordon Ramsay, butter and sour cream.
You may not like sour cream. You can also have cheese on them.
Yeah.
Jalapeno in the South we put, or in Texas anyway, we put jalapenos, or you can have candied jalapenos on them. Bacon bits, chives / green onions.
Yeah.
Sort of the same thing. What else? Some people like chili. You eat it with chili.
I have to eat it with chili because the rest of it kind of doesn't really...
Sometimes some people have it with broccoli. You can do like broccoli and cheese stuffed potato. Yeah. But those are like sane, normal toppings that people in America enjoy, as opposed to the bizarre things that you guys put on a potato.
And what do they put on a potato in Britain?
I have not had any of jacket potatoes.
Because sometimes they, you know, like there's like hot dog stands in New York. There's like jacket potato stands in Britain.
I mean, because you're not really a fan of a baked potato, are you?
I'm not, oddly enough, and I love potatoes. I just kind of find them boring. I think the potato was done...
Hence all the toppings.
Well, yeah, I know, but I think this is weird too. You know, I think it's absolutely disgusting.
Okay, so tell them the toppings that you guys put on them.
Tuna mayo.
Yeah.
Tuna mayo. Sorry.
So basically, like what we would put in a sandwich.
Tuna mayonnaise,
you put on top of a potato.
Yeah.
How fish? I mean, fish and chips, I guess. Yeah. Fish and potatoes. Okay. I guess if I look at it like that.
Tuna mayo, yeah, that's a popular sandwich filling. As well, but
tuna mayo, meaning
you can have sweet corn,
tuna mixed with mayonnaise.
Tuna mixed with mayonnaise, yeah.
Yeah, and then
dumped on top of a steaming hot potato. Sweet corn is
sweet corn doesn't sound weird.
But sweet corn on pizza. Sweet corn on pizza is a big thing in Britain.
Yeah.
You thought that was weird when you went to Asda. I remember
corn has no place on a pizza.
Because we were allowed to put our own toppings on the pizza, and you said, what? They've got sweet corn there. And I was like, yeah. They put sweet corn on pizza. And you were like, sweet corn on pizza?
Yeah, that's so weird.
Sweet corn on pizza? Yeah, and baked beans is another topping. Baked beans on everything.
Yes, British
baked
people
beans
love
all
putting baked
over the place.
British people love putting baked beans on top of things.
Toast.
Yeah, it's just not right. Baked beans on potatoes. I mean, I guess it's sort of similar to, like, putting chili on a baked potato. I don't have chili on my baked potato, but I guess baked beans are something.
Jacket potato cheese. No, some people put cheese.
Yeah.
They put butter, they put cheese, grated cheddar, and then baked beans.
Yeah.
I just want to see your face if someone had to serve you. If we went to like a house in Britain and they said, we're having jacket potatoes for tea, cheese, butter, and baked beans. Oh, lovely.
I would just be like, I'm not very hungry anymore. I'm not hungry right now. Thank
I'm not
you
very
anyway.
hungry. I'd rather have cereal with warm milk. Thank you very much. I've had my cereal with warm milk. Number 3, Stargazy pie.
Yeah, I saw that on a bunch of the weird British foods lists.
I've never had it, and I never will. It's hails from Cornwall, which is in the southwest of England.
Yeah.
And it's made of baked sardines or pilchards, along with eggs
what?
and potatoes.
It sounds like it's gonna be some kind of stargazy. It sounds like it's gonna be like
A dessert.
blueberries and blackberries and
no,
raspberry pie or something. God,
no.
what does any of that have to do with stars?
I'm coming to that right now.
You're gonna see stars after you eat it.
Along with eggs and potatoes and covered with a pastry crust.
Sorry, Cornwall.
The unique feature of it is fish heads, and sometimes the tails too,
oh God,
protruding through the crust.
Why?
So they appear to be gazing skyward. So that's the stargazing.
Oh, no.
They're just like a.
Oh no!
Yes.
That is terrible.
You've seen photos of it. I mean, if anyone's got to look it up and look at like Google Images or whatever and just see one, and it's just like, oh
God.
I've never ever seen that, and I was born in Devon, so it's right next to Cornwall.
So,
and thankfully, I've never ever been served or seen that.
So, I mean,
except
the description
from
of
far
that
away
is no wonder why, when like these travel people go to Cornwall, every single one of them is like, we've got to have a Cornish pasty. We've got to.
Cornish pasties are good.
Cornish pasties the thing to have. I've never ever heard of a stargazy pie. I've never seen any of these travelers go, all right, we're in Cornwall. We're going to try the classic dish of stargazy pie.
Oh, I bet someone would just to get views, you know.
And I mean, I like fish. But
sardines, no.
You know, eggs, potatoes, with the heads of the fish and everything. It's just like, and the eyes of the fish. Like, I don't want to see the face of anything I'm eating. I know that is hypocritical.
Yeah.
I know that's straight up hypocrisy, you know, to like.
You don't want to see a chicken head poking out, chicken pie. Yeah. Little rooster tail.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but if it can look back at me, I'm not gonna eat it.
It's just like a.
Oh no!
Yeah, no.
He's making a face
it's
now.
He's terrible.
Imitating the fish
because that's how they look. It's terrible. Yeah. So no bueno on that.
But yeah, in like a pastry crust too, like. I don't know.
No, it's creepy.
It's creepy, yeah.
It's disgusting. Sorry about that, Cornwall. Stick to clotted creams and pasties.
Yeah. One time Dominic's dad paid for us, like, he wanted to treat me and Dominic to, like, my first pub meal, I guess it was.
Your first pub lunch, yeah.
My first pub lunch.
It was like a Sunday lunch at the pub.
He was like, I've booked you both in. Just us. He didn't come with us for some reason.
He doesn't eat, my father.
He's like, no, he did it like a little like gift for us or something. He was like, I've booked you both into the pub.
Yeah,
like your pub lunch experience.
Doing a Sunday roast, you know. It's
and we were like, oh, did you want to come? No, just you.
No, just you. And we booked you both in, and you go in on Sunday at 2:00 or whenever it was, you know.
It was just so nice. Like, okay. It was really nice.
It was really nice. The dinner was really nice.
And
and what do you want for pudding? Oh, it's all right. It's all been booked. It's all been paid for. What do you want? We're like, okay, you know, because the Sunday roast was nice. I think we had roast beef.
Yeah, the meal was fine.
The meal was fine. You know, it was very, you know, pubby. And very grubby. You know, well, not in a bad way, grubby, you know, but, you know, it was very nice grub.
The meal was fine. So then, you know, Americans, like, we really think, oh, pub, my first pub meal, my first pub lunch. We don't realize that it's going to be
The first thing Americans do when they land in London is go to a pub to order fish and chips.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other rant.
Yeah, that is another rant. But we think, oh, a pub meal, like a pub lunch. Sunday roast, whatever. You guys, we don't realize as Americans that this is a typical meal that we eat any time in America. And there's like, it's good, but it's nothing like, I don't know what we expect when we go there, but we don't think it's going to be what it actually is.
They think it's going to be this flavorful experience.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that it's not flavorful. I just mean that it's not anything like that's out of the ordinary for Americans.
Yeah. Well,
for meat-eating Americans, anyway. Yeah. You know, it's like it's roast, it's vegetables, it's potatoes. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the meal was good. We ate the meal. And then this pie comes out, and no, it was not a Stargazy pie. It was an apple pie. It was our dessert. And I was like, apple pie, and I think custard. But obviously the pie had either been cooked in
a tin that they'd used to roast onions in,
or it possibly had onion flavoring in the crust, or something. In the pie.
No, I think it was. I think it was baked in a crust that in a tin that contained onions, and they hadn't washed it out properly beforehand. Because we were eating with because we had cream with it. It was lovely apple pie, but then I was like, wait a minute, there's an onion flavor I'm getting here.
It's like, is this an onion pie?
And I was like, what am I eating here? Right? And we both were looking around like it was an insane asylum at that point, you know. It was just like, what is going on here? And I was just like, and I said to you, does this taste like onion? Does this taste like onion to you? And you were like, yeah, I think it does.
I was like, oh.
And, yeah.
But that's not,
that was just the
food.
That was not
that
typical.
Was just the place.
That was just the place.
Or and probably maybe even just the person that was cooking that night.
Yeah. Who has been removed from their position.
God, yeah. The next weird thing we've talked about before.
We've talked about it before, yeah. Jelly and ice cream.
Jelly in the British sense, Jello to Americans.
Jello.
Yeah.
Jello and ice cream.
Yeah, which is weird.
How is that weird?
It's just weird. I don't know. I mean,
you put jelly in, you put ice cream in, you have cake and ice cream.
You put whipped cream or Cool Whip sometimes on gelatin. So I guess
it's
vanilla
delicious.
Ice cream.
It's usually like raspberry or strawberry Jello with like vanilla ice cream, and it's good. It's the best stuff.
You haven't know. Imagine it's grape Jello and
peanut butter ice cream. There you go. You have peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. You can have grape Jello and peanut butter ice cream, and you're like, yeah. Stick an American flag on that, boyo.
Let us know if you're American and you've ever had Jello and ice cream together, and if you
have,
if you don't think it's weird.
Yeah, if you're American, tell us. That's the question we'll ask in our Instagram post.
Yeah.
The next one is number 5, Chip Butty.
Yeah.
That's one I kind of like can take or leave, really.
Chip meaning French fries.
French fry, yeah, but thick of French fries, like more like a steak fry.
Yeah.
Doused in salt and vinegar, and in chip shops.
Oh, do they? You still put salt and vinegar on them?
Well, usually what it is how you eat them. You don't usually go to a place and order one. You order fish and chips, and they usually bring you like a huge portion of chips. And say you're sitting down there, they'll bring you like a plate of bread and butter, automatically.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to ask and say, "Oh, can I have some bread and butter?" My dad is one of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, you eat the fish and you start on the chips, and then you just grab the buttered bread and start putting the chips that you pre-doused in salt and vinegar on the and then just eat it like a sandwich.
Why do they need to be on bread? Why must everything be a sandwich to British people?
Bread, lots of bread.
Everything's got to be served on bread or as a sandwich. I don't know. I know people who eat sandwiches and they put their potato chips in the sandwich.
That's another crisp sandwich.
But there's other stuff in the sandwich. It's not just bread and potato chips.
That's weird. Why would you put anything else in there?
It's meat, it's cheese, it's lettuce, it's tomato, it's whatever, and then you put the crisps in.
Oh,
just for something crunchy.
No.
But like eating
Just put the chips in there.
French fries between two pieces of bread with butter, it's just like, I just have to ask why.
Because it's delicious. If you're an American and you've tasted this gastronomical delight, please tell us.
Oh my god. So is that regional around Britain, or is that something that's like
nationwide? I think even in Ireland they do it.
Yeah.
Irish listeners, tell us.
Yeah.
Do you put chips in a butty? In a sandwich between two pieces of bread?
Yeah.
Lovely. Number 6, another fish and chip shop staple is Saveloy.
Which is...
It's basically a bright red boiled sausage.
Okay.
It's kind of like a kielbasa. It looks like a kielbasa. It's quite long.
Yeah.
You get them?
Mm-hmm.
But they're usually like these bright red things, and people go, "Oh, love a Saveloy and sausage." But usually the more popular one is a battered Saveloy.
Yeah.
And they just batter it, and it just comes out.
Now, are they spicy at all?
They're supposedly highly seasoned, but I think it's kind of like hit or miss wherever you go, really.
Okay. In the Texas Panhandle, and I don't know if these gas stations, I don't know how widespread they are, but yeah. I've only really seen them up like North Texas, Texas Panhandle, probably up into Oklahoma. Let us know if you guys have Allsup's gas stations where you live. Because I don't know, I haven't looked them up on a map to see all their locations.
Yeah.
But I've never seen them down here in Central Texas. In Allsup's gas stations, like along with bean burritos and like other horrible gas station food, they have exactly what you're describing.
It's a long sausage,
and
but
it's bright red.
Oh, is it? Mm-hmm. So it
Mm-hmm.
might be a Saveloy then,
like,
or it might be just like a hot link. I think you call it a
hot link. Yeah, that's
hot
what they're
link.
called.
Yeah, but they're highly seasoned. I don't think they're spicy at all.
They're supposed to be spicy. They're not that spicy.
Yeah, but I don't think this one is anyway.
I've
never had a Saveloy.
They're bright red.
Yeah, they're bright red.
They sound exactly the way you're describing them, though. So that's interesting.
I mean, that's the same sort of thing then. I mean, I imagine I don't...
Let us know if you've ever been to Britain and had a Saveloy, and if you've ever...
Oh, it's a hot link.
And if you've ever gotten a hot link sausage from Allsup's at the gas station. Let us know if they're the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they used to be made from pork brains, but now it's like beef, pork, and a rusk and spices.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
I mean, a lot of sausage. That sounds disgusting, sausage. But if we're being real, a lot of sausage is just... It's just parts, isn't it?
Parts that
hot dog weenies
that don't look appetizing. They just case it in a sausage.
Yeah.
There you go, May.
Yeah, yeah.
Number 7 is Manchester eggs.
Okay. Those are just eggs that people eat in Manchester.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a variation of the Scotch egg, which
okay.
Which you're interested to try. We've talked about that one before.
Yeah.
But this is obviously found in Manchester. This uses a pickled egg, which is then rolled in black pudding and sausage meat and deep fried.
Pickled egg. They lost me at pickled egg.
But you like a pickled onion, don't you?
I like a pickled onion. That's not the same
like
thing
a
as a pickled egg. Yeah.
But why don't you like a pickled
Because
boiled
pickled egg like... I don't know. I mean, I've never had it, but it sounds horrendous to me.
Yeah.
Like the idea of
I used to think I didn't like pickles,
egg.
But I do.
Yeah, pickles are delicious.
I mean, but I've got to kind of be really in the mood for them, and I only kind of like them on my hamburger. It's like I don't.
I can eat them straight out of the jar. Just like nom, nom, nom.
You're a pickly head.
Yeah, and like a good pickled onion on the side of like a really strong, flavorful cheese. That's so delicious.
Cheese.
But pickled egg, I've never had one, so I am passing judgment. But it does not sound like it would be something for me. And rolled in black pudding, which is basically sort of like
blood sausage, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it sounds similar to a Scotch egg, but worse. Manchester people listening, let us know. They're gonna say that it's better than the regular Scotch egg, aren't they?
Probably.
Manchester egg. Let us know if you've ever had a Manchester egg and a Scotch egg. Let us know which one's different. You're gonna be letting us know a bunch of things from this podcast. So
yeah. Number 8 is the final one is a Parmo, or a Teesside Parmesan, which is originated in Middlesbrough, which is they call Teesside. And
where's Middlesbrough?
It's up Waiaiman. It's up on
What?
the northeast.
Waiaiman.
Waiaiman. Yeah, that's how I say
Oh
to
my
Erica where things are. You know, it's like, oh, where is he from? Waiaiman. You know, because it's like Waiaiman from Geordieland. You know, Geordieland up in the northeast. I call it Waiaiman, even though it's, you know, it's like the whole area. You know. Teesside and Tyneside and, you know, all them. Yes.
Okay, yeah.
It's a popular takeaway food, and it consists of a breaded cutlet of chicken or pork topped with white bechamel sauce and cheese. So it's kind of like a chicken parmesan.
That sounds fabulous.
Usually cheddar cheese.
Okay.
And it was invented, and, you know, it's served with chips. You know, it's everything's served with chips.
Of course it is.
And apparently it was invented by a US Army chef.
Oh, yeah.
Who was wounded in France during World War II, and he was brought to the UK to convalesce.
Yeah.
And he moved to Middlesbrough and opened the American Grill, because, you know...
Because he has to.
Yeah, he has to. And in 1958, he invented the Parmo, and that's what they call it, the Parmo.
Parmo.
Parmo, man!
There's no...
man!
There's no Parmesan.
Get yourself a Parmo!
There's no Parmesan involved.
There's no... It's just like, they call it the breading, I guess, Parmo, you know?
So, well, no, it's because it is basically
a chicken
like
parmesan,
a chicken parmesan, only
without the tomato sauce.
Yeah, and with cheddar
and
cheese
spaghetti,
instead
yeah.
of parmesan. I don't imagine. Maybe you probably couldn't find parmesan in Britain at that time.
Parmesan cheese?
Yeah,
no, probably.
So
not.
that
was too fancy.
So this American guy, he just
he called
just
it that.
He just improvised, you know,
a Teesside Parmesan, you know.
Yeah. Huh, interesting.
And it's only...
That does not sound terrible.
I'd never heard of it before, so, you know, and in 1958 he invented it, and it's become a hugely popular dish.
Regional dish.
Regional dish, yeah.
Yeah. Huh, that's cool. Just to quickly go back, the Savoy, why is it called the Savoy?
I have no idea.
Is the Savoy a place?
No, you're thinking of the Savoy.
Savoy, okay.
The Savoy Hotel. Savoy, I think it was... I don't know why it was called that.
Okay. Let us know if you know why it's called the Savoy, yeah. But the Parmo, interesting.
Parmo, man!
Probably the only thing on this list that...
you would eat.
I'd give a try, yeah. I mean, jelly and ice cream is not terrible. Chip Butty. Yeah, no need for that. But yeah, okay, interesting.
Well... Yeah, and that's it for your lot.
That was an interesting list. I'm sure that we can probably do another one of these podcasts with a whole different set of culinary adventures.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so if you enjoyed that, let us know. Share this podcast with your friends. We appreciate you guys listening and giving us feedback on all of these episodes that we do.
Yeah, thanks a lot, everyone. Yeah, I mean, as I said, you know, do what Erica said.
As I said, do what Erica said. Yeah, and that's the only bit of advice that you need for life.
Do what Erica said. Share us and do everything.
Thank you so much, as always, for listening. We appreciate your support, and we will talk to you next time.
Yep.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Why
Bye.